Hello and welcome to Free Cheese episode 452. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
Mark Augustiniak.
What's up?
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Season 10 continues with episode 17 as we talk Downwell, the 2015 iOS and Android and many more roguelike. More on Downwell later, but I would first like to know, Matt, Mark, what is the perfect hand soap smell?
I know what I don't like.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm used to getting... What's the brand that Target sells? Like Miss Myers or something like that?
Yeah, that's one.
I usually get their lavender or whatever. It just feels like a safe bet. Anything that's like citrusy or apple, I don't care for. Because it starts to smell like it's like the leftovers of cleaning up vomit.
Okay.
And it smells like that's on my hands.
Fair.
But then just having like a basic soap smell, I guess, isn't too offensive either.
Oh, like that basic dial orange.
Maybe, I don't know. I guess I'd have to go with like a whole smelling thing, but like, I know I don't want grapefruit. I know that's like that's a very divisive fruit for some reason, but it's like you either hate it or you love it. But like I made that mistake. Just citrus. I can't. Citrus is not good for me scent wise over time.
Weird. I don't mind the citrus at all, and I hate lavender. That's funny that we've got the opposite.
Yeah. I probably did like maybe, lemon in general I'm okay with, but for some reason
the soap smell of it.
Yeah, just something with soap. It's not that. It's something else. I don't know what it is, but it's not.
There was a time when I bought that Myers dish soap, and it was lavender, and I didn't realize I had grabbed that one, and I had the moment I used it. You know the video of the kid trying to blow out his brother's birthday candles, and he cocks at it.
Yeah, of course.
I did that to a bottle of soap, and
see, and I feel what the soap is for also kind of dictates the scent a little bit too. So I feel like they're probably made differently, right? Like chemically, whatever.
A little bit.
I don't know, because like there's the Dawn soap upstairs. We have like 3 different bottles, and one of them's like green apple, and I hate it. So I just like regular Dawn, just the blue. Like I'm okay with that, with the tortured duck on the label, because they got to make you feel bad. But like Myers as like hand soap, I'm okay with. Would I use it as a body wash? No, but hand soap, it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I don't know. I guess I prefer flowers over fruit.
Yeah, I've turned on flowers. Matt, what about you? Flowers or fruit?
Fruit.
What style?
I don't know. I like the like your tropical fruits. I think I like to be reminded of summer when I wash my hands.
Okay.
There was one. It was
I'm not opposed to that.
I think I've since learned that it's just like a generic, buy it by the gallon, whatever, designed for hotels. But it was one that we had in Puerto Rico called Paya at one of the places we stayed. And it smelled like a papaya kind of thing. But that scent sticks with me in a very good way. I feel like it smells very good. But I haven't had a papaya.
I do like vanilla or coconut scented things too.
I don't hate those either.
I think I could.
Subtle though.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they've done bad vanilla where it gets mixed with something that sucks.
Yeah.
But if it's done right, I think it works well. I think vanilla might be the most neutral.
Probably. Because like there's even some like plant smells I just can't stand either, you know? So I totally get like the turning on flowers thing for sure.
I don't know where it came from. I feel like it was always like floral scents, but somewhere, maybe it's when I quit smoking. And all my tastes and stuff changed.
Or like it just smells like a bad bingo hall or something. I don't know. Like it's that can happen.
There is one perfume. It's like a very expensive perfume that oh God, if I'm in a grocery store and someone's wearing it,
It's
I'm gonna hunt them down.
It's called Sex Panther.
I forget what it's called. It sucks though, and I can always smell it from like a mile away. And I did not know my like sense of smell was that acute, but that one particular. And they make it a lotion. They make it a.
You know what? Scratch all these. I think the best answers is bleach and or gasoline, right? Like those are the best.
Both. Just combine them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. Very good smells.
Funny enough,
I wouldn't mind if my hands smelled like gas all the time.
I actually like the smell of gas. I mean, I know it's like terrible for you to inhale all the time, but
No,
like,
I mean
or fun.
You're not alone.
Dealer's choice.
hanging out at the Wawa, not a bad time.
No, it's good.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a good hit.
I have had to get used to lavender though, because Victoria very much enjoys lavender, and I'm not the one who buys the soap.
Yeah,
because I'm thinking I could just wash my hands with gasoline.
Yeah, I think some brands handle lavender very differently than others, and I feel like for me the Myers one just isn't that offensive to my nose. It's not potent.
There's combinations they can do as well with lavender that really offset it and make it worse. So
yeah.
Well, in the words of Tom Waits, it is time that we go down, 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 down into the well with 2015 Downwell. First released October 15th. I believe the initial release was iOS only, with PC shortly thereafter. And then it's hit, I think, every major platform since then. Developed solely by Ojiro Fumoto, who goes by the handle Moppin. He did have help from a few other folks with different things. Music was by the same composer who worked on Spelunky, which we'll talk a little bit about Spelunky in a little while. And this was published by Devolver Digital. Not really a back of the box quote per se, but if you will, Downwell is a curious game about a young person falling down a well, battling enemies with gunboots and collecting treasure, and sometimes visiting shops. The game's description, which I think is
nailed it.
Pretty apt, right? So this was my nomination, or one of my nominations, but this was my pick for the week. And yeah, it really, I think, immediately struck me the first time I played it. And I've since bought it on, I think, any platform that I can, just because I like playing this game a whole lot. I think it is really, really approachable for anybody. I think it's simple and straightforward, but it has a lot of, pun intended, depth to it, because it is a roguelike. I guess, yeah, I mean, we can kind of put this up front, but Fumoto decided to make this game because he loved Spelunky and didn't have an easy way to play Spelunky on his phone. So he said, what if I made a game that was like Spelunky, but I could play it on a phone? And it evolved from there. And it was as simple as that, but it just kind of went. And I think that same approach to Spelunky, where it's very straightforward gameplay, simple to like actually move through and whatever, but pretty difficult to actually get through to the end. And you really have to practice and learn the game and learn to do better. And sometimes it's down to luck, sometimes it's down to skill, sometimes it's a matter of both. But, it's that, except rather than moving side to side, because it's on a phone that is typically held vertically, you're falling down. I have a lot to say about Downwell, but I kind of want to just hear what your guys' first impressions were on the game. Matt, what about you? You jump into Downwell. So I guess also, was this your first time playing Downwell this week?
This is my first time playing Downwell, and I chose to play it on iOS. No, I think it's a pretty cool concept and game, especially when you start breaking it down. mechanically by his pieces. But no, I like it a lot. It's brutal. It is hard as nails. So something it goes right up my alley, of course. But no, I like the design of it. I think it looks cool. It's simple, but I think it looks cool, especially when you start switching around some palettes. Like, you kind of make it look however really you want to look. Just the core concept, just going down, and how you can kind of go fast, go slow, combo. Like, I don't know. There's so much to it that you can kind of do. I was like, oh man, maybe I should take it slow, and I feel like I go fast. But when I go fast, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go slow. Like, I don't know. It's a weird blend of how you play this game. But impressed. I'm gonna be a little weird with this one because I did not like the touch controls at all. I couldn't get by them, so that's gonna kind of bring down my little temperament on this game. And I should have. I don't know why I never did it, but I should have paired a controller to my phone or my iPad and played it. But anyway, like, besides that though, I really do like this game. And yeah, it's roguelike. I mean, like, go through stages, change areas. Unfortunately, never got past the first stage in the second area, but yeah, no, I like it a lot. I like what it has to offer.
Mark, how about you? This is your first time playing Downwell?
This is not my first time.
Oh.
I think I bought it originally on Switch because we got that flip grip or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And I think that was like the only game I played on it. And I was just having a very fun time with it. And yeah, I think getting the different palette colors was like my big incentive.
Yeah.
Until like it starts, it requires more and more grinding to get the later ones. It's like, all right, this is going to take a little bit, but it was fun. And honestly, Matt, I don't think I got too much further than you every time. I think it was maybe like
it's hard.
It's either like game. It's either I know like the first stage, like all that is just like cave or well, and then like I think is area 2. Is that like when it's more like crates that you're breaking and there's ghosts, or is that the third one?
Like catacombs, I think it says it. Or
I think it's called the catacombs. Okay. And yeah, it's more crates and more there's the spike floor and things like that.
What's the third area?
I believe the third one is an underwater. I don't know the name of it, but it's like a deep sea kind of thing. Okay, I don't think I've ever made it that far. I think I'd always get somewhere into catacombs. I don't know where exactly, but if anything, I probably got near the end and just bit it hard or something. But that's fine. That's okay. I'm not mad at that. That's not like a that's not a negative to me, because I think this whole game, and like the whole game is just based around replaying. So like it's good to have a first beginning spot that isn't so bad, But and then playing it this time, I didn't play on Switch second time around. I was playing it on Steam, just using a controller, and still about the same. Didn't change my experience much. I mean, other than like bigger screen, but also more space that I'm not using because I didn't flip my monitor sideways or anything like that. Even though you could, which is neat. I didn't even consider that. I've got a vertical monitor set up now. I should try that.
Like I could do that, but then I would just I would mess everything up that I have on top of my monitor. It would probably all fall. So
I don't have the ability right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's cool that they incorporated it. So that it's really nice. It's basically like there's no real difference on what platform you play it on. Just a matter of just what your thumbs are hitting for the most part, which is nice. But yeah, it's really. This is another episode where it's like I really don't have anything like super critical or like negative to say about it. I think it does what it does pretty well, and like it doesn't bullshit you. Like it just what you're getting into from the beginning, and I think it's pretty cool how it handles the shops. And like I didn't know it was going to be a Spelunky inspired game, but now I can totally see that. And I'm bad at Spelunky. Like, I'm super bad at it. Like, I just I'm awful with platforming with those types of games. But this one, since you're always falling, it kind of it kind of takes care of half of my issue with with Spelunky. So
like
it's easier to jump into or fall into, I guess.
The thing I love about this is how everything complements something else. And I think, like, there's so many little bits in this game, right? So, like, you're falling, and as you're falling, you're pressing a button to shoot enemies below you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the shooting also slows your descent.
Yeah.
You can alternatively land on enemies, which, depending on the enemy type, will kill them or hurt you. But by doing so, you build a combo. And if you build the combo and you hit so many enemies, and shooting also builds the combo. But the more enemies you kill without touching the ground, the higher your combo meter, so that eventually when you do touch the ground, one, it resets your available bullets, and two, you get certain rewards. Like, I don't know how high of a combo you guys got to, but at one point I got, like, I think 22 or 23 was one of the highest ones I got this time around. And you get, like, I think, like, full health back, like stuff like that, these little bumps. Same thing with health, right? Like, as you're working through the stages, you might find these little secret rooms on the sides. And inside you'll find a weapon. Some of the weapons they're either coupled with health replenishment or charge replenishment to give you kind of +1 to your full clip. And, like, sometimes it's risk reward because the heart you might need is attached to a weapon type you might hate, and those types of things. It just, everything kind of works together in a way, like, I don't know, like, every piece you interact with in Downwell has an impact on something else you're doing or something else you're earning or something like that. And it just, that part really, really stood out to me, especially, like, playing it this time around. I think before, like, I always appreciated playing it, but now, like, kind of looking at it critically and thinking about it differently, like, from a game design perspective, it was, like, really, really impressive how all of these little things complement one another.
And not only that, but, like, it's so simple in concept, but yeah, because it's, you know, a roguelike or roguelite. Is it like or light?
Yeah. I
like I asked this before.
I think
I honestly don't know what the difference is at this point because I hear him so interchanged.
Yeah. But because it's a game that emphasizes on RNG with your abilities and power-ups in between levels and stuff. It's a simple concept, but I love how just one weapon modify can change the way you play it, the way you approach it. Like, if you're doing a spread shot, you know, like, you're going to be aiming differently, or if you're doing a laser, or if you're doing just, like, the normal shots. And every time you shoot one, even if it's not your favorite weapon, it still feels good to execute. And especially if it's just, like, just a generic, just, like, shooting single bullets out of your boots, like, every time you just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
It's like, it just feels good. And I honestly thought that Metroid would have been, like, an inspiration for this game. Because when you're, like, on NES Metroid, when you're going, or I guess any of them, but, like, when you're going up and down to different areas, usually when you're going down, you kind of want to avoid every platform possible. You just want to get to the point as fast as you can and maybe drop some bombs on the way down or something. So I was always thinking about Metroid whenever I was playing this.
Well, there's an enemy in the game that very much looks Metroid-esque.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think did pull some inspiration from Metroid.
And I always felt bad for hitting the turtles.
I do too. Why is
fuck
that?
Those turtles, man, they hurt you. Especially
I know they hurt you, but
at a weird angle.
They only hurt you, like, yeah, if you run into them. Other than that, they're not attacking, right? They're just standing there chilling. Right?
Yeah, I never like hitting them. Yeah, they don't really attack. They're never offensive. Like, same with the worms, but, like, the bats will always chase after you. But yeah, the turtles are just kind of hanging out. But I feel like I gotta land on the turtle because
you gotta do it.
I need the combo, dude.
The gems, combo. Yeah.
The frogs I don't care for.
The reload.
Yeah.
The frogs will, like,
also
try to hit you.
Yeah, exactly. There's the gem high mechanic as well, where if you recently picked up gems, you've got kind of a boost going on. And the more gems you pick up, the higher that boost goes. And so there's incentive then to move quickly through a level, right? Like there's all these little tiny things that just complement one another. And again, like Matt pointed out, like they change the way that you play the game moment to moment.
The cool thing about...
Did you have a favorite weapon?
Ooh, favorite weapon?
I like that laser if I had 2 more in the clip.
Yeah, you got to get the charge.
Yeah.
Covers a lot of ground, yeah.
I also like that puncher. It felt good.
Puncher's
I don't think I was good with it, but it felt good.
Is puncher the like spread shot one?
It's kind of like the shotgun, but it's not. It's more of like a
spread. It goes like more like through, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm always a sucker for a spread shot, but I think in that game, maybe not so much.
Well, it could hurt the combo. It's like a risk reward type of deal.
Yeah. Like whenever I have the ability where like the bullet casing can count as damage after firing and the shell hits something.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I have that, I think I'm okay for the most part.
That helps with the like areas where you're like drowning in enemies and you feel like you are gonna die at any moment. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you feel like when you jump, you get like that extra boost or something, and then like that can like hurt enemies or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, puncher's pretty good.
I really appreciated that, like the idea of stacking health. So like if you get a health pickup when you're at full health, every other game it just you got a health pickup and nothing happened.
I did not know that until I was doing further research going into the episode. Like playing it, never knew it. So I was just like, I don't need any more health because I'm already at 4 out of 4. Wish I had more health. Wish I had more health.
Almost avoid it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really, really neat. Which kind of is Spelunky-like, because in Spelunky, if you carry the pug or the damsel or the hunk down to the thing, you get +1 to your health. But I really, really appreciated that part to it. And adding charges to your weapon as well, like having those 2 mechanics in there where you can still like get better as you go along, and like it forces you to try, like, because there's certain things where you almost feel like, okay, if I can just get through the level, as long as I have 1 health left, who cares? But no, because if I have higher health, then I don't need to heal that much, and I can keep getting more health to, buff me for later on in the game. Visually, the design of it, we mentioned that a little bit, where it is very kind of monochromatic, not quite monochromatic, but it's, kind of like a 3-color palette game. But all of the ways color is used is so well done, where like the initial color palette, just basing it on that, white, black, red. Red is bad. Black is neutral, white is neutral, right? Like there's no whatever, but like don't touch red stuff is basically the idea behind it.
But gems are red.
Oh shoot, you're right.
Or,
okay,
yeah.
Fair point. But I guess like red on the enemies, right? Like the frog jumping, if you hit the top of the frog, you'll kill it. But if he comes down on you, that red, like that will hurt you.
Stupid frog.
The same thing with the ground, right? Like once you get into the catacombs, the ground is red where spikes come out, like that kind of stuff. Like all those little subtle things visually that cue you into things. And Mark, you mentioned the palette unlocks earlier, so I was actually surprised to learn that he did not originally want to put that in the game. I believe that was a suggestion from Devolver or from gameplay feedback. But he kind of felt that having something the player would unlock would indicate that the game was not good enough on its own. And I'm very happy they're in there. Because one, I think it's neat to change up the way it looks. But I think also there's been times where I've done a few runs and I'm like, okay, I'm going to play something else. But like as I'm dying, my first thought is like, all right, I guess I'll play something else. And then I see the meter where I'm like, I only need 500 gems. I can do that. That's one run. That's character. That's
they figured it out.
The well 1-1.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's weird how we just focus on certain colors. So like maybe just seeing so much black and white, it might be hard to lose focus of your character for a second if there's a lot going on. But if for some reason you pay more attention to like a lighter green or a lighter blue or something, maybe you'll be more concentrated or something. I don't know.
Or get worse.
Yeah.
I turned on that Game Boy one. I can't see shit. I don't know how I did this as a kid. It doesn't work on his phone. Fuck that Game Boy.
Yeah.
Did you try the Virtual Boy one at all?
No, did I want my eyes to bleed? No, of course not.
That's not my default setting or anything. That's not.
No, I just like I know like it was weird because I changed it to the blue. It's exactly like the regular Downwell, but it's just the blue shade, and it like took me back for like a run or two, and I ended up like not stop playing on my phone. And when I came back to it, though, like the blue was like super natural. Like after just stepping away for a bit and kind of let my eyes like not adjust, I guess, in a weird reset, I should say. The blue felt like natural. Like I forgot I had changed the palette. And I went back to Rev. Like, oh wait, this is weird. And then again, I had to like stop playing, come back, and it was like natural again. It's very weird how that worked for me.
Similar, but with green.
Mm-hmm.
Like green was just softer to me on the eyes. Like red is fine. Like I'm okay with red. I'm okay with blue. But for some reason, green just helped complement the black and white for me better on most of my runs until I got more like other color palettes that would just change everything.
It was funny seeing where I'd left off on different platforms. I think on my phone, the last time I'd played it, I was... What was it? I think it was the blue. On the Switch, I was that matcha green. But on PS4, I was like one of the weirder, like later palettes where it's like a lot of color. It's like the whole background, instead of it being black, is like a soft blue, and all of the highlights are this like cream color, and there's like pink accents. Where
that one is hard to look at for me, depending on the game.
It is, but I was playing like a psycho. I was doing that for a while, but yeah, wild. Did you have a favorite palette, I guess, is my next question. I guess we kind of answered that, didn't we?
I mean, I would go through a lot of them, but yeah, like, I think on Switch, I didn't mind the Game Boy one so much, but my screen brightness also was pretty dim for the most part. So I don't know if that helped or what.
You mirrored the actual experience. Did you have to play underneath a light?
Well, I had a worm light, so...
Oh.
No. And a big magnifying glass in front of it. No. Speakers on the sides. No, yeah, I think it'd be between that. The Virtual Boy actually wasn't that bad after some time, believe it or not.
Yeah, I did hate that everything was red because you kind of had to know which enemies you could jump on and which, you know what I mean? But like otherwise it was cool.
Yeah, like once you unlearn blinking and tears start lubricating your eyes, it's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the black, white, green, I think is what I went to the most.
Yeah, it's a good look. Yeah, I love the power-up system or like the items you get at the end of each stage where you have this kind of choice of what do I want to do? Is this going to help me? Is this going to hurt me? Because like the bullet casing one is one where yes, it helps you, but it also can hurt you with like killing too many enemies and you break your combo, or you don't have enough to jump on your way down. Things like that where it changes.
It's true.
Well, I know you played on Switch, so you had easy access to buttons, but Joe, did you ever play like touch on the phone? Like, how did you like that?
That one, you mentioned before, like the kind of, you mentioned not liking it, but I think like I also, knowing how it plays on other platforms, because primarily this time around I played mostly on Switch and PS4, or I guess PS5, but yeah, the PS4 version of it. But I did play on the phone a bit this time around, and like you move too much with the touch screen. I feel like if I push right, I'm going way far over, where I feel like I'm just not as precise with the touch screen as I am on a controller.
Yeah, I actually thought about this for a bit, because I didn't want to come in here and bitch about the controls and then not come up with an alternative, because if you can't come up with an alternative, you probably have the best thing you can get. I wasn't thinking, like, you constantly keep a thumb on the bottom of the screen the entire time, and like that is like your cursor, and then he kind of follows your thumb a bit, and then anywhere on the screen you can tap to shoot. As you kept that thumb,
it would just register that extra tap.
Exactly. As you held the thumb. I think that would be my alternative scheme, but I don't even know how much I would like that, because my biggest gripe is with me having my thumbs on the bottom, not so much the buttons, the more my thumbs get in the way of seeing the screen. And I have an iPhone, I think it's what number are we on? 13 Pro? I don't remember.
Sure.
Like, I have a bigger phone on the catalog of iPhones here, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I needed extra real estate, whether it be only a certain number of pixels.
Yeah, and I feel like, can you change part of that? Like, yeah, you can turn the buttons off, but then, like, I can't see what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, like, I don't, like, yeah.
Weird.
My thumbs are still in the way. I just don't have the buttons on the screen. And it's, weird.
I don't know. It was almost like, I don't know, like hold the phone upside down almost, and like it would be up well. I don't know what else to kind of do there. Yeah, I mean, I can see why you didn't want to go up, because that would be too much like doodle jump, and then you get in that territory or whatever. But without me playing without me doing the controller and just playing touch, like as much as I did not enjoy my touch experience, I could see me falling in love with this game as soon as I get the right controller input kind of going on. But
I really think just playing with a controller period will change this game entirely. I still think, like, I'm almost at the end of level 2 now, as we've just been talking for a minute. Just touch controls, no big deal. But
I mean, it's not definitely terrible. It's not like it's unplayable. By all means, this is the like phone and touch was this first platform. I mean, sure, I guess you could have paired a controller or whatever then. But I mean, think about it. It was not as accessible. You almost had, at least on iPhone. I'm not sure on Android, but like on iPhone, like you back in the day, you weren't allowed to pair your PS4 controller as easily and your Xbox controllers. You almost had to get one of those specific. I forget. There's a specific SDK.
Steel Series, I think, was the only.
Yeah, you had to have,
the SDK. Yeah,
had a specific SDK that spoke to an Apple device. But I just wanted thoughts on that, because it's weird. It's not, doesn't feel organic, especially for something that came out on phone first.
Yeah,
Well, it was of that era, though, right? Like, I'm now like thinking about it. Like, everything had the dumb, like, just buttons all over this. Like, at least I'm not playing PUBG Mobile or whatever the hell, or Fortnite with all those touch buttons everywhere. Like, it's not that bad.
I love, like,
it's
it
simple.
Still is a simple approach, and it's doable. It's not, I think it does work better with buttons. I think it works better with a controller.
Again, had fun playing, but I'm not beating that game on touch. At least, I mean, I'm sure it can be beating, but I am not.
Weird question for mobile. Can that game be played landscape?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but weirdly enough, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I have my phone locked.
I know it would be like super small. I know the screen would be super dumb to look at, but I figured it would handle the button situation, like your thumbs not being in the way if it was like on the sides of it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I mean, makes sense, right? I mean,
yeah. But I believe I can try and fire up the Vita version while we're sitting here and see how Vita fares, because I'm pretty sure the Vita you can play horizontally with buttons, and it is tiny, but you can also rotate it on its side. And I remember specifically laying on my couch upstairs with the Vita version, playing it touchscreen sideways.
You know what? I literally am running across the very top of a level here. I like my drag thumb idea a lot, actually. It frees up a lot of space on the bottom.
Yeah.
Patch that in a year. What year are we in? 2022.
Yeah.
7 years later.
While I pull up this Vita version, speaking of patching and the developer making changes to the game, it's been a bit since he's put out another game because he actually had a stint at Nintendo for a few years. I'm not sure if you guys knew that, but he was hired at Nintendo and worked there. One of the credits that I see, Vita confirmed, can play it, like you would any other. It's same as Switch.
Right.
And it seems like I left off on the blue accent here for the color scheme. But I'm pretty sure... No, I didn't unlock as many. I think Switch is where I've got the most unlocked. But yeah, it's still... What a game. What a game. He'd worked at Nintendo, and like one of the credits was making mini games in Ring Fit Adventure.
Okay.
Which kind of fits, right? But I know that he left, and I remember when he left Nintendo, it was kind of like a... I don't know, I remember being surprised, but he just mentioned that he was grateful for his time there and respects the company a lot, but wanted to get back to making his own stuff. So and it seems like he's working, like, peeked at his Twitter, and it seems like he's working on things, but yeah, we haven't seen anything since. I guess my question from that is, are there any independent game creators that you would want to see work for a larger company, and in what capacity? We've seen a lot of indie developers actually come from large companies where they are so tired of being confined by other things. Last week we talked about Burnout, right? And we talked about how developers at Criterion, the newer games and everything seem like products of, what do you call it? A boardroom, right? Where it's like, hey, this has to be done because these are the trends. And you see a lot of people who are talented leave big companies like that to go make their own games. I think like Axiom Verge is a good example of that, where he was working on things, left, made his own. Well, he made his own thing on his nights and weekends, put it out. It was a hit. Now he can do that by himself. But I don't think we really see like an indie game creator like this blow up with some success and then go to a big company. So is there one that you'd like to see, and kind of how, what would you want?
The only one I can think of, I mean, this isn't my like personal one, but that reminds me for the guy who made that Metroid fan game that got shut down, but then Microsoft hired him for Ori 2 or whatever.
Yeah. I think it was more Moon Studios hired him.
Moon, yeah.
But Ori.
But I don't know if that guy's background was, if he was just indie or if he was from somewhere before that or what.
Yeah, that, because I know like in this case, Fumoto was like, this is kind of his first game. He had done some smaller things toying around and whatever, but like this was the first real project he worked on.
Right.
Again, like Shovel Knight, like the folks at Yacht Club left Way Forward. Not that Way Forward's huge, they're still indie, but they left there to go make their own thing.
That was the thing. I don't know how big the team is, but like, I don't even know, because I never even thought about it the other way. It's like, if a dude has like capabilities, I want him to like have creative control. I don't want like. You see it all the time in movies with like directors. Like I know, still a team, but that auteur word gets thrown thrown around a lot more in the movie industry. But like, I never want to see like a director that makes like a good indie film get brought on these big projects, because they never get. I mean, look at the freaking whole Snyder Cut scenario and all that. Like, that's like the worst nightmare that I could. I don't know. I just don't want to see that happen to someone. Or
remember, famous for directing the music video for Cold from the PsyOps game, Mark Webb later on would make some indie films, and then Spider-Man, and then haven't seen anything from him in a while.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It pulled into the machine.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think. One of the first like companies, I don't know how big the studio is though, that's just my ignorance, but like that game company is always one of the first ones I think of, because I always think of Journey when I think of indie games, and I just don't know, like I don't know where I will want them to go. Like I guess
Yeah.
Xbox or Sony would probably give them the most freedom because it seems like they kind of give their first parties a lot of freedom. But like, I don't want them going to EA. Are you fucking kidding me? Activision to make let's make this next Call of Duty spin-off a fucking walking simulator.
What could that game company add to a Call of Duty?
Walk around the aftermath of the nuclear explosion from Modern Warfare 1? Like, I don't fucking know.
There you go. I'd play that game.
No, but they'll just make an event. They'll help develop King Kong in the Warzone event that's happening like in a week. I don't know. Yeah, sure, they could, right? There is potential, but would they? I just don't trust these big studios. Or publishers. I should say publishers. Sorry, publishers.
I guess mine's a little weird, but I guess it's technically the company. Was it? I think it's called Sing, CING.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're defunct now, but as of 2010, but the main person behind the Hotel Dusk game and series.
Oh yeah,
I would like to see that come back on like Switch or something. It'd be cool for people to not have to play it on a DS, I guess. I mean, not there's anything wrong with it, but I always loved their style of like the point and click adventure, and it has a very unique art style and really cool. Yeah, writer and designer Rika Suzuki.
I just looked
cool.
them up because I thought of another like unique indie studio, but some House Untitled Goose Game developers. I never played Push Me Pull You. Evidently, is their first game that's out on PS4 and home computers. Never played it, so I don't know how it fares. But like, I don't know, like they made a game so ridiculously funny without trying at all. They just gave you the mechanics to have fun and laugh, and they didn't try to do Sunset Overdrive humor or anything dumb like that. They just kind of gave you the tools to make your own laugh. So I don't know, like, and we don't see like a lot of comedy like that in games. I don't know. I guess they could go somewhere and make systems to make you laugh almost, or scenarios to make you laugh in your own way.
Yeah.
Slapstick will always be like one of my number one favorites in comedy. And which I think is what makes a lot of simulators so successful, like those jokey ones, like Goat Simulator and Deer Simulator and stuff like that.
Like those games, like, yeah, I guess they
Bell
set up
physics.
scenarios to do it, right? But like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like you're kind of finding it and stumbling upon it in your own way. It's not this like dumb toilet humor that you get a
Forced.
lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. True. Very true. I don't know. Now, a better question is, what indie company can take on making the perfect Ninja Turtles game?
Is it not going to be .mu?
I'm not saying. Okay, sorry. The one that usually that we talk about, which is like Arkham 4-player, open world exploring a city type game.
From software.
I still think Platinum needs another shot.
Oh
That's
yeah,
fair.
with like the real turtles though, not the Nickelodeon one.
Well,
No, I think even like I mean the thing that Mark and I were spitballing the other week was give it the Arkham treatment where, hey, we have our default design that we've designed as Platinum Games, but if you collect so many pizza boxes, then you unlock the classic comic skin. If you do, whatever, like there's all those things you can get. If you pre-order at Best Buy, you can unlock Black and White Robin, whatever. No, I think Platinum's still the answer for that one.
I guess they're indie, right?
Yeah, I mean they're bigger on the indie side now, but
Technically, yeah.
is there a game that you wish, so the same way that kind of Downwell was inspired by Spelunky to put Spelunky on a phone, is there a game you wish could be translated to a phone? Or is that even relevant anymore, knowing how phones operate and how xCloud and all that stuff even exists.
I mean, you still see attempts at it though, whether they work or not. Like you're about to see Diablo enter that, right? Like that's coming soon. Rocket League just did it in its own. I never played it, but like, Rocket League kind of made their own mobile game. I mean, there's still attempts at it. But as far as a game I would like to see, ugh.
You know what?
Yeah,
I was gonna say Hotel Dusk again because I think that would work. Since the DS, you had to flip vertically and it would play it like a book. So I think just having it on a screen just with a little bit of extra menus wouldn't hurt. But I think more point and click adventure games could benefit for sure. But I don't think the Zero Escape series is on there.
I don't think so either.
So I think that would be a nice one to put on there.
Is there anything that, like, because Spelunky seems like you probably shouldn't play that on a phone. Is there something like that where you kind of instinctively think that couldn't work on a phone, but if you translated or if you made a different approach to it, it could work the same way that Downwell kind of reinterpreted Spelunky?
Oh, man.
I don't know on that one.
Is it technically a mobile game if you put the phone inside it like a Google Cardboard or something? like one of those makeshift VR headsets?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sure, why not?
It's a mobile game in my opinion.
Because if you compare a controller with that.
Well, no.
No, that's the complete piece. So making it to where the phone itself is also the controller, right? Is pretty much what you're getting at. Okay.
Like, not that I think Pokemon Unite did it perfectly, but like that is an example of bringing a MOBA to a phone, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if Phasmophobia could work on a MOBA. That's why I brought up the whole Google Cardboard thing. But like,
it could.
You could. I guess you could technically. I'm not sure. It's the buttons. I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
But like with Phasmophobia, you could probably do a thing where you reimagining that for a phone, where you use AR to actually like put the ghost in your physical surroundings, and then you have on-screen buttons to pull in your items and things like that.
You blew my mind with that because they technically have something like that already with Five Nights at Freddy's for your mobile, where like you got to avoid the creatures or whatever, and it's kind of a weird gotcha mechanic for some reason. But
it's because of mobile
is the reason.
but I think it's called like FNAF like special delivery or something like that, and your room is the stage for it. So like trying to hide or something like that would be a very interesting mechanic to use with your phone in AR. I like that a lot. That's a good idea.
I mean, like to that, like you gotta, when you convert that, and you kind of have to go all in on the convert. Like you can't just force a game onto a phone. That's when you get the shitty buttons and it never works. But like, this is probably more answering the last question you have. I was thinking Metal Gear, because I always do, and I like to bring it up on this show all the time. Like, there in Peace Walker and 5, they have that like build your own army base mechanic that is like fleshed out enough, but I think you could take that whole side piece and make that like flesh it out a little bit more and make it like a turn-based RPG almost on your phone, which turn-based RPG, I have no problem hitting attack or defend, whatever, on a screen, and and at my own pace and time or whatever. But I think like transforming a game to like take advantage of the touchscreens in a way, or the technology in the phone, like the AR or the hundreds of sensors that what's the
gyrometer?
Yeah, like gyrometer and all that.
Accelerometer.
Yeah, all those fun things. Or just slowing down the game so that way like you don't have to keep two buttons and hold the phone. Like Call of Duty Mobile sucks. Like I tried it. It's fucking terrible because everything sucks with digital touch controls.
We will rank Downwell in a few minutes here, but I am curious, keeping with the Spelunky conversation, is there a game that you've loved more than the game that inspired it?
Mega Man.
What inspired Mega Man?
Mighty Number 9.
Oh, you.
Sorry, I reversed it, I think. But,
Got it. Yeah.
So the real answer is Mighty Number 9, and it's better than Mega Man. That's what we're saying.
Right.
Okay.
No, I completely misinterpreted the question, I think.
Is Mighty Number 9 delisted?
Let's find out.
You're saying, do we like the game that inspired the game more?
So like I think about Downwell, and I love Spelunky, but there's parts of me that think I might like Downwell more than I like Spelunky.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
I got it. I got your question reversed. My bad.
It worked. Or sorry,
you can still buy it.
You can buy it now. Okay. If you go to buy it on Mac, there is a notice that says it's not compatible with Catalina or above, so they have not done any work to make sure that works. But on Windows, looks like you're fine.
Okay.
Don't know about any of the other consoles, but at least you can still buy it somewhere if you're really itching to play it. I don't know. I don't know why I'm struggling with this question so much, and like just thinking about it too, coming into this episode. Like, I don't know. It's almost like a theoretical question because it's almost like, I don't know, like to some degree, a lot of games are better than what inspired them. That's just because of technology and quality of life and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, there's definitely cases where a game is terrible and the thing that inspired it is way better, but like, I don't know. I'm struggling to know like what games are trying to struggle thinking of a direct inspiration. It's not a sequel to itself. I don't know, but my answer is like a lot in a weird way.
Well, I also think that there's been times where like I don't necessarily like Bloodstained more than I like Symphony of the Night.
Right. No, I'm definitely like there's cases of that, right? Like the inspiration or the game based off the inspiration is bad too. But like I don't know, I feel like there's, I guess I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to force Rocket League into this.
You know what's interesting? Here's the thing. Of all of the weird questions I've asked in regards to Downwell, it's been difficult to answer it. And I think that the thing is, Downwell really is kind of unique in so many ways. It
For
like,
sure
does a lot of things that other games haven't done. Especially like to know the game was developed in 15 months and developed as kind of a, I wonder if I could do this project. I think like that is also super impressive to know just what the end of product was. Yeah. Did you land on an answer, Mark? You had that kind of face like...
No, I thought I did, but I was just too busy trying to be funny instead. Yeah, like I'm just trying to think of like what I know was actually directly inspired from a game.
I'm
like,
struggling with thinking of those games right now, but instead, thinking about it.
But instead, I think I don't know specifically with a game, but my mind keeps gravitating towards like genre. So like Metroidvanias, right? That whole history of that is not like I forgot what game started with that term. But the fact that people thought that it was like a Castlevania and a Metroid combined was like the genre, but it was never Metroid. That was the inspiration. It was Zelda.
Exactly, yeah.
But we just call it Metroidvania when it should be Zeldavania.
Yeah.
But I think because it's specifically Zelda 2.
Yeah. Well, but also like just the open exploration of Zelda itself. Yeah,
So I'm trying to think of like what games do I probably like more than the games that inspired that genre, but are still within that. I don't know, it's weird. It's like what game do I like more than I guess than Castlevania or Zelda?
Yeah, like you got me thinking of different genres now. It's like, like survival horror. Is there a better survival horror game than like the OG Resident Evil? Well,
yeah,
of course, because the tank controls are fucking awful. But that's kind of what I was saying. Like, yeah, when you start to kind of think about it, and I'm not saying direct inspirations, but like things that inspire other things, indirectly or directly, like quality of life stuff kind of improves it, and technology and everything else. I'll let Mark actually answer this.
I'm still not sure if it's like a accurate answer, but so Super Monkey Ball, right?
Okay.
They use that same engine for F-Zero GX.
Sure.
I think I like F-Zero GX more.
To be fair, Mark's answer is better than what I'm saying at a theoretical level, so we'll take it. Joe, do you have an answer for this?
I don't know if it's technically inspired.
Downwell.
Great. Fucking awesome. What a question. Glad we had this conversation.
No, it is strange because it also feels blasphemous, but yeah, I mean, there are times where like I think about things that were inspired by Zelda, and like maybe I do like them better than some Zeldas, but also not really. There's a couple like Genesis games that were very Zelda-like. You just didn't have necessarily. But I think also like Earthbound is probably my answer, where Earthbound was intended to, I mean, the original mother was intended to be just a Dragon Quest clone, like so many RPGs were, but it was like, hey, we're going to make our Dragon Quest.
Right.
And I think that I wholly like more than I hate Dragon Quest compared to Earthbound, which is not fair because I've not played all the way through Dragon Quest, and I don't mean that I actually hate it, but like comparatively, like I would much rather play Earthbound than that. And I think those games have had a bigger impact on me than Dragon Quest. That said, I still want to play through and finish some Dragon Quest stuff, but I'm waiting on those 2D HD, 2D to HD.
Yeah, I think I like Mario more than going outside and playing in the backyard.
There's that too.
Well, Mario's better than Sonic, so Sonic's not an answer. We rule that out.
But then, like, I don't know. I like Sonic and All-Star Racing, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed way better than I like Mario Kart.
Like Mario Kart as a whole, or like a specific Mario Kart?
And if you compare any Mario Kart to Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Sonic wins.
I'm not going to disagree, but I haven't seen a baby park in Sonic and All-Stars.
I was waiting for that.
I'm trying to remember if they do have one or not.
Only the best track in any kart racer ever.
But, I think there are definite examples of games that were like, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to do it our way. And I end up liking it more.
I can't wait.
Session, right, is another one where I like Session more than I like Skate. And more than I like Tony Hawk, weirdly enough.
I'm real curious because I haven't played ukulele, but I wonder if I'll like that more than banjo. Because I'm not really in the camp that's like a diehard banjo fan. I don't hate banjo, but like,
yeah,
there's just parts of that game that just don't vibe with me.
But then you trace that back, and I guess this is what you were saying, Mark. But like, trace that back. Like, is banjo better than Mario 64? No, I don't think so.
I'd rather play Mario.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's where I think this gets tricky a little bit.
Well,
I've rambled on about this answer. I don't fucking know. I think that's
right, because I mean, there's a bunch of 3D platformers, right? Like, it's whatever. But like, just the fact that ukulele was done by X-Rare devs,
yeah. Right? I mean, yeah, that's
that
a little
worked
bit
on
different,
it,
right?
Yeah.
But even that, like, I think there's stuff like A Hat in Time is probably better than banjo, right?
Balan Wonderland. Or World, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oof.
What could have been? What could have been? At the end of every episode this season, we rank the games we've played. It's time for us to rank Downwell against the rest of the list. If you want to follow along with the list, you can do so over at thefreecheese.com/thelist. Oh, Downwell. Curious to hear where you guys land.
See where Mark lands.
Matt, I feel like you're going to be kind of...
I'm skewed, though. That's why I want to...
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm curious.
Shit. Like, based... All right, I guess there's two different rankings I bring to this table, right? Like, All right, my actual experience with this game puts it around ESPN for me. What I think it could be is probably around Metal Gear Solid for me.
Okay. Mark, what's your kind of
I think I agree with Matt's latter portion of his comment. I think it might be between Metal Gear and Get to Rue Man.
So you guys are pulling me down from just below Wii Sports, I see.
Jesus.
Oh, I love this game, dude. This game's so good.
Fair.
I've been playing this game for 7 years.
That's
like
fair.
I play it a lot. Never beat it, much like Spelunky, right? But like I've bought it on multiple platforms. I just continue to play it. It's one of those things that like I just leave installed on any of the devices that I've purchased it on so that I can come back to it whenever. And yeah, I really dig this game. Just like Spelunky. Like Spelunky has just become like a mainstay. If I've bought it on a platform, it just stays installed. So I can just jump in and just do a bit of it, right?
And I guess that's, I mean, obviously this is all just like preference, right? With everything, but
Right.
I guess more so with that genre of game. I don't typically play many rogue-like games or whatever because I just know in the end, I know what its main concept is just like you're forced to replay. Like it's like you're, and not that this game really did it, but most games you're just kind of forced to suck for a good chunk of it, and you just gotta hope for the best that the RNG gods are in your favor. So it's just like gambling, but with like a long time in between.
It's skillful gambling though, right? Like it's like
so like
you are getting better. It's not unlike a Dark Souls in that where
right.
So
like
you're putting in time and it's paying off.
Yeah, so in a way it is kind of like an investment, but these games never last long for me personally. Even though they feel like they should be like right up my alley, and they usually are. But
this is my
but again, that's just preference. I think
this is where the roguelike and the roguelite or whatever difference comes in. Like this, there's nothing stopping you from beating this run one. This isn't like you need to grind stats like a roguelike. Like Rogue Legacy, you're not beating that game run one unless you're a god gamer, right? Like you probably need to put in some time, some stats into some attack points, defense, and all the other stats that a game has. Like this one, I don't think there's anything stopping you from being a run 1 or 2 or 3. Like you're not building stats. You're not building there might be a play style that you unlock that fits more your niche that you're going for or whatever. But I was what's oh god the hardest the Darkest Dungeon. Like Darkest Dungeon 2, you're probably not beating that run 1 because you need to get stats, you need to unlock some things. You could get closer than your other runs just because of the way RNG falls, but I feel like you need to unlock stats and abilities and classes for characters that will help your run and stuff. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, I was saying like Downwell doesn't really do that, but you still like have to get good. You know what I mean? Like you still have to fit like you yourself physically. You still have to like invest the time into yourself and your own like skill and reaction time and all that stuff. But again, that's preference. It's not a knock against it. I think that's just a preference for just how people play. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But they usually don't last too long for me because of that.
Do you feel like this one lasted longer than others?
Yeah, I think so. Because of, like, it's just you that is the limitation, not so much the game being the limitation. And I think that is a good positive for this. So
you guys are in the 6-7 range. Do we feel like it's over Get to Rue Man?
Yeah, I could put it over it.
Yes.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
I'm willing to.
Last week's Burnout 3 Takedown.
Hmm. This is where I might fold. Right.
I'm gonna ride or die with Mark here because I'm riding off of potential. I think. I do really think I would like this game with a controller, like a lot more than I ended up liking it.
Yeah, like I could see you like really getting lost in this one.
Yeah, me too. Like I could see this as being like a Dead Cells, like where I was lost in Dead Cells. I felt like for like 2-3 weeks. I fell off hard, but I loved my time with Dead Cells for all those hours.
No, but I can totally see the day where you send me a screenshot of you beating the game and me being like, Jesus, dude, I've been playing this for 7 years and haven't come close to that. And you're like, yeah, well, look at this run I had. You know what? Like, I think for sure.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I'm kind of riding Mark's wave too because I'm ready to throw it above Portal 2. So I gotta keep myself in check here. I definitely like it over Burnout 3. But I don't know. And I don't know how that fares with you guys.
If Burnout 3 was just a generic racer, I think I would agree with you.
But it does have all the extra stuff. That flavor around the edge.
Just something about just wrecking those other cars and getting rewarded for it. That's such a good feeling.
Sure, I brought this up last week with Burnout, but like the last Empower, it gets repetitive. If you're trying to beat World Tour, it gets repetitive. And like I remember losing steam after a couple weeks as a kid, like just like all right, like race after race after race. Like you know, if you like racing, sure, I guess you'll have the staying power. But like, so many times I can take down a car.
Yeah.
That would be my only thing. Just remembering my experience as a kid. Now I didn't play it much to get to that point this time around. But I do remember that like fatigue kind of setting in at some point. Despite there being a lot to offer, I think just fatigue on that game as a whole.
Well, and it's built into Downwell, right? Like the repetitiveness,
right? It's built
the hook of the game.
It's built in, but like again, not to stop you from being at run 1. And I mean, you're sure you can always come back to it, but like I don't know, like the runs aren't that long, and it's iOS nature. It's pretty pick up, put down, do a run or two, and
you know what? It doesn't have sugar cult.
I'll let
we can put it above.
I was gonna say I'll let the Joe Dix Japan experience of being on the subway influence me here a little bit, but like, you know, it's not a one-handed game, but you kind of hug that train pole and play with two hands between trips or whatever, and
bang your head on the pole.
Well, that's part of the experience. Just down well, you bang your head on the well,
and you down fell. Yeah,
can't make a bad. Yeah, sure. Yeah, there you go. That's the connection I'm looking for.
Okay, do we put it above No Mercy?
Ooh, that's like my fucking golden child right now. It feels that way. I thought Metal Gear was going to be the one where it's going to be a tough pill to swallow, but I think No Mercy turned into that after replaying it. I mean, like, it can, right? These totally different games. That's the fucking idea. Like, it can, right? It's the platformer.
You got to ask yourself that, not me, because yes, it can.
I'm okay with it being above or below Burnout. That's where I'm at. I'm in that circle.
You don't think it goes above No Mercy?
It could, I mean, I guess it could. What? Like, why would you put it above it?
I think exactly Matt's last point. Pick up, play, right? Like I can play that game for 6 hours straight, or I can play it for 5 minutes. I've been playing it for, not that you can't play WWF for that long either, but like something about Downwell, just its simplicity and I don't know. I do feel like I'm always getting better. I'm always like, there's just something good, like just, I think like round and nice and whole about Downwell. It feels like nothing's missing. And I really, really love the like complementary systems in the game, the way that everything works together, right? Like weapons and health and risk reward and shop and like all of those little tiny things and like building a combo, letting a combo drop, like all of that stuff.
But I didn't hear you say SmackDown Mall in that whole montage right there.
Well, we haven't beaten the game yet, right? Like I don't know what happens after you get through the boss.
Okay. You know what? You've convinced me.
All right, well, I already said I'm riding the Mark wave, so I'm not going back on that now.
The line for me now is drawn at Portal 2.
I'm not putting this above Rez. I like Rez a fucking lot.
I would rather... I mean, Rez is just behind the back Downwell. Like, Downwell does it better.
Oh, that's so degrading on Rez.
All right, Mark, if you want it above Rez, what if we just go right above Portal 2?
I don't know if I can do that.
God, I just said last week how much I like this top 7, 8.
Did you say you would do that, Mark?
No, I don't think I can do that.
I had to check. Check. Let's go right below Rez. I don't feel good putting it above Rez.
I don't either. Despite the potential argument, I
could put it above Rez, though. I tell you what.
But like, if I wasn't in fucking hour 80 of Elden Ring trying to beat these fucking hard ass bosses, I would probably still be playing Rez, getting a platinum. This whole year of my theme of play what I want to fucking play. Rez, I still want to play Rez a bit.
All right. I think I'm good with... You sure, Matt? Definitely not? Downwell above Rez?
I can see me getting lost in Downwell, but I don't see me liking Downwell more than Rez.
Mark, do we feel good right between Rez and No Mercy?
I suppose. Yeah, that's fine.
Damn, I think I brought the damper on that party.
No. I was ready to throw it as new number 2. What is going to dethrone Wii Sports? I'm not asking that as like a gotcha question. Straight up. Like, I don't know what we have on our...
Next year, when we do Switch Sports, right?
Dude.
Well, yeah, of course.
I was ready to put Burnout above Wii Sports. I was so ready.
But like Wii Sports was the one for us where we unanimously were like, yeah, this is number 1. And I don't even know on our list if there's another thing that is going to be...
I don't know. I'm more... We talked about some things earlier. Now I can't remember. I'm more concerned about some other wars we might brew up here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned this summer.
Yeah.
I know exactly where this is going.
Yeah, it's gonna be a time. We shall see.
I'm not even worried about number 1. I'm more honestly like the 6 through 12 range is gonna just immediate guesses and impulses. Somewhere in that range there's gonna be a war.
Time will tell. Downwell was fun. Downwell's a great game. If you haven't played Downwell, you should go play Downwell. And if you want, probably with the controller, yeah. If you want to come back next week, which we hope you do, we're going to be talking about Perfect Dark. Speaking of Rare, when they made a good game, not Banjo-Kazooie. At me. Or at the podcast at thefreecheese.com. Let us know what you think of Downwell, what you think of the podcast this year, what you think about Perfect Dark. If you write in before next week with your Perfect Dark thoughts, questions, anything you'd like us to include, you'll make it onto the show, more than likely. Anyway, more on that next week. Until then, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Get down the well. Goodbye.